So the intention I was thinking of for today is an interesting one for Yogilates. So this will be kind of a fun class, but the idea is focused on the sacral chakra. So sacral chakra, this physically encompasses all sorts of muscles that surround the hips. So we'll be strengthening especially for females, but all males, those reproductive organs let out a bunch of hormones that absolutely regulate so much stuff in life. Everything from your first cycle when you get it, through getting PMS before every month, and through creation of life, and through even down into the menopause transition. Hormones are so important. If you were to suddenly get those the ovaries taken out, people have to be on hormone replacement because it's so important. So that's one level. Imagine we're not only physically helping hips, we're helping the energy of the endocrine system so those hormones that regulate our mood and so much about life. And then one more level for the sacral chakra. Imagine that this is helping us to get into some of the passion for life. So if we feel like we've lost some passion, it's like life is dull, we're just doing the same things over and over. The sacral chakra is one of those chakras that working on that can help get us out of that rut. So that's the idea that we'll work on today. Good old strength, good old stretching. Know that you always have permission to readjust in ways that feel good. But let's start off with the knees coming into the chest. And as we do a couple of easy cycles, just rocking or doing circles, imagine this is our first chance to touch in with the sacrum itself. So kind of feel that sacrum rolling around on the ground and feel how it's doing today. Some days it's crooked, it needs some balancing, even just initially. So this rocking actually is one of my favorite ways to start off with the bone itself, the sacrum, on a much more level feel. Just 2 or 3 easy cycles right there. You'll notice we'll get into glutes several times here on our back before we head out. So this first time, while we're doing a bridge pose, let's drop the feet down close to the glutes. And this one will just be one where we lift the hips up and stay. So drop the hands on the floor by the hips, roll the sacrum up, roll the hips up 1 vertebrae at a time. Your option if you're clasping hands or just pushing into ground today. We're just holding here for a little while. So this is our first chance to engage those glutes, kind of strengthen those muscles. Feel how the squeezing of the glutes does impact the sacrum. Gently pulls it in a nice way. So just a couple of breaths. So we can inhale, exhale. Another count slowly at 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Roll the hips down to the ground. From here, we'll start off with a slow motion bicycle. So this one we'll use our hands. The right knee comes in, give it a little hug. While it's being hugged in, the left leg straightens up to sky. That straight leg lowers down. And then slowly as it comes in, hands switch. Clasp around left knee, give it a good pull in. Right leg straightens up. and lowers, comes in. Let's take 2 more at that slow pace. So clasp around right, straight left, drop, pull in and switch, and right leg up. 1 more each. And second half. And then you can choose to continue to use hands or not as we pick up the pace a little bit. Circle around, circle around. Harder option would be not using hands at all. They're on the floor. So how this is impacting the front of the hip. That's the part that is required for us to take steps. Do another about 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, and 1, 1. Feet drop down close to glutes, hands slide in by hips. This time we're going to go up and down. Let's take 10 bridge poses. So inhale, slow inhale to roll all the way up. Slow exhale to roll all the way down. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. When sacrum's back on the ground, take the hands behind the head, lifting up the head. Right knee in, and left elbow twists into that right knee. The other leg hovers above ground. And switch. Opposite elbow to knee. Here's 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Beautiful. From here, resting head back down. Let the feet plant another time for that bridge and slide in. With this one, lift up and stay. And then we're going to do tiny little pulses. So the hips lift up a little bit and lower down. Take 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower hips to floor. Slide the left leg long on the ground. Right knee comes into chest. 3 times let that right knee open out into the right hand wide. And travel across into left hand partial twist. Take it open 2. Just rocking around on that hip. And then this last one, when you open wide, let the crossing over the body be slow. You may choose to pause for a breath or two at about a 45-degree angle, easing some stretch into outer hip. And at any point, you may choose to continue to relax into a deeper spinal twist. So let this be up to you how deep to take it. Another good inhale. Exhale. And start to ease that hip back to ground. Let's slide the right leg along, left knee in. And 3 times, open to left. Partial twist across body. 2. Last one, go wide. And then the traveling across the body is a little bit slower. You pause at about a 45-degree angle for at least a breath or 2. So how that opens that outer hip area. If you want to go deeper in the twist, take it. If this is feeling amazing, leave it. Breath in and out. As we return that left hip to floor, take both legs up to sky. 5 times we imagine we've got a huge rubber band that we're working against resistance-wise. Legs resist against it, open out wide. 5. And squeeze together. 4. 3. 2. Last one stays open. Arms reach up overhead. 10 times we'll do a crunch reaching through the legs. So here's 10, exhale. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. Slide the hands back in by the hips. Legs come up together. Take a nice bent shape. Let it go down to about a 90-degree angle and try to leave it in that bent 90-degree angle shape as you try to tap the toes on the ground. So lower it down and up. One leg at a time is easier. Both legs together is harder. The big thing is trying to lock it at that 90 degree. If this is too hard, make it slightly lower than 90 degrees. If it's too easy, make it slightly higher. Try to pay attention to low back on the ground. Make sure the core is so solid that that low back does not have a chance to move. Good. Take another 3, 2, 1. And then bend the knees, set the feet on the floor. Okay, this is one of the harder. We've got just a couple more of the bridge poses, so they get a little harder as we go. With this one, leave the left foot on the ground. Right leg is going to try to point up to sky. And we're going to try to do 5 bridge poses with only 1 foot able to lift us up. So when you're ready, slow inhale to lift. 5. And exhale, lower. 4. Now 3. 2. 1. Good work. Let this leg take a half happy baby before we switch. So right hand slides up to grab the outside of that foot. Contrast this external rotation of the hip with the internal rotation we took when we did the twist earlier. Your options here are just stillness, rocking, or straightening and bending the leg up to sky. So whatever feels best. Give it a couple of good breaths. Okay, when we release that foot, plant the right foot down. Now it's left leg up to sky. If hands aren't by hips, slide them in. Ready? Our inhale will lift the hips up. Right. And down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. Happy baby. Half up on this side. Left hand to left foot. You can rock. You can be still. You can straighten and bend. Your choice again. A huge inhale, nice exhale. Start to release. We're going to take the legs into cobbler's pose shape. So bottoms of feet together, knees open wide. Let's either grab the elbows and rise the elbows up overhead or just extend straight arms toward that back wall, whatever feels better for shoulders. Notice this is a spot where low back arches. Great. Enjoy that nice stretch to that area. The low back muscles are also governed by the sacral chakra, so people that tend to get tightness there, sacral chakra may be a spot to pay attention to. Just relax, 3 more breaths. Then leave the knees open wide as we slide the hands back in by the hips. This is going to be one of the funkiest bridge poses, and it's probably the one where you'll be able to lift up the least. So when we push the feet into the ground here from this cobbler's pose, you should be able to lift hips off the ground. But note that it's going to use different parts of the glutes, parts we don't normally use. It's going to be much more wide. So when you're ready, let's try to push, lift, and stay lifted. So lift up. I'm going to do a slow countdown. If you need to drop down early, that's okay. Here's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. Lower hips down. And then you're going to close your knees up and over and tilt to the side that will face you into center of room. Your head can be resting on the upper arm or supported in the bottom hand. We're completely on the side. We're going to do a couple of leg things here, incorporating especially some of these muscles that are closer to the hip sacral area. So first, from that bent knee position, let's do some of the clamshells. So imagine you're moving through molasses as the top knee lifts up. 5. Slowly squeeze down. Inhale 4. And squeeze. 3. 2. 1. Squeezing our thighs together. Beautiful. As you release the effort, legs straighten out to a banana shape, so slightly tilted forward. Top leg lifts up level with hip. Let's do some small circles, about tennis ball size, 10 to each direction. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it rest. The next one will incorporate, and just let it rest while I chat for a moment. The next one will incorporate some forward and backward motion. It'll be 2 quick kicks forward, 2 quick kicks back. So note that this top hand will become especially important here to try to make it so shoulders aren't just swinging forward and backward like crazy. That hand gives us something to push into the ground. And notice when you have a slight push into the ground, it engages the core. So you're able to try to stay more or less still. So let's lift the foot back up level with hip. When you're ready, you choose how far forward and back the kicks are, but 2 forward, 2 backward. Whenever you're ready, 2 forward, 2 backward. Let's do another 5 to each. Feel if the shoulders are minimizing their movement. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. As you bend that knee, see if your top hand can grab that top foot. Just let it settle into a quadricep stretch. So if the knee tilted kind of forward, it's not stretching the quad at all. Just let the knee trace backward. Good. We'll take it kind of like a happy baby again. Readjust so that you're grabbing the outside edge of that foot. And then this happy baby might feel nice to just straighten the leg up, or you might feel nice just to kind of pull that hip open, whatever the hip feels like it needs. Inhale, exhale, release. We're going to switch sides. You can either roll over to face away from me or swing your legs to the other half of your mat. Okay, so first it's the clamshells. The knees are in a bench shape. 5 times top knee moves through molasses. And slowly squeeze the molasses out of the shell. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Squeezing our thighs for an extra moment here. And as you release, straighten the legs, sliding them slightly forward to that banana shape. Rest. Top leg lifts up, level with hip. 10 circles, really small. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Couple of good breaths there before that last one. Remember, the last one's super key, that the top hand is in front, pushing into the ground, engage the core, so that way the shoulders don't have to rock like crazy. Let's give it 2 more breaths of rest. Okay, top legs level with hip. We do 2 quick kicks forward and 2 quick kicks back. Try to minimize movement in shoulders. It uses a whole different level of core control. 5 more each. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Beautiful. Let's take the quad stretch behind. So right hand and right foot. Try to reach behind our back. Make sure the knees fold back to a degree that helps your quad feel it, but it's not too intense. Readjust kind of like a happy baby. Try to slide the hand in to the outside of foot. This can be a bent happy baby shape or straightening, whatever feels best. Inhale. Exhale. We can release. Press into the ground to rise up. Seated place. And after those movements, outer hips a little bit more intense right now. So let's do the cradling position. Right leg is welcome to rest on ground. Cradle out the left leg. Let me switch. I said the opposite of what I did. So let me switch so I don't end up getting confused. Now as right knee flips up, rest that left ankle to right thigh. This is personal preference. You could be leaning back on hands. You could be using left hand to push the left knee open. You could slide the foot in or anything that just helps the hip. So we've got hands behind us. From this position, let's take a breath or 2, tilting the legs over to the right. And tilting over to the left. When we're back up, let's take a moment just to let the legs get a nice stretch out wide. Hands can reach forward and through. Really nice to have that expansion through the legs after all the crazy awesome things we've been doing. Traveling in, second side, cradling out right, if I'm not mistaken. Trying to confuse myself. Yeah, okay, yep, just whichever one is the opposite. Let the bottom leg flip up so you can rest it down. Just lay back on the hands. You can pressed in the open, just whatever feels useful. Get some space. Legs in this shape with hands behind us. They fall over to the left. And over to the right. Another time out wide angle. Slide through. As we rise up, slide the bottoms of feet together. Similarly to how we did on the floor, we're going to try to lift the hips off the ground and lower them back down. This time, instead of holding, we're going to try to go for 5 slow cycles. So when you're ready, hips try to lift up, slowly down. 4. 3. 2. 1. Give it a couple of breaths to tilt forward, palm over. So those muscles we just engaged now have a chance to kind of release. Inhale, exhale, and then rising up, find just a comfortable place to grab on, maybe ankles, maybe knees. We're going to do just a couple of Kegel type exercises. So imagine you're either holding your pee, kind of squeezing that area, or if it's helpful, it's kind of a funny visualization, but imagine kind of sucking the blueberry up and holding it there. So the first one,
very challenging after 5.
Very challenging. That's why we're doing this, because it's like I realize I'm not doing this enough. Important for the sacral chakra area. Okay, so I'm going to do a countdown for 10. You're going to try to squeeze it that whole 10, and then take a little break in between. So squeeze it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Breath for a moment. Round number 2 of 3. Squeeze. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. More of these. Squeeze. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. And we're going to do 3 rounds of one more type of Kegel exercise. So this one, I'm going to do the same countdown of 10. This time, you're going to try to see how many squeezes squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release that you can get in that Kegel area. That's fine. That's fine. Go ahead and readjust if that works. Yep. Go ahead and readjust. And then, and just notice on the 3 rounds, if you can increase by 1 or 2 each time. It might not be possible, but just do the best you can do. So I'm going to start the first countdown here. It's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Number 2. Here's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. 1 more. Here's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Let's swing our knees underneath us, coming to kneel. It'll feel like a kind of like a rocking sensation for that sacral area to do almost like a cat cow, but it's just the sacrum. So the sacrum tucks under and arch back. Another 4. 3, 2, 1. Good. So some strengthening for some of the muscles surrounding the hip area. We're going to do a couple back to back. I'm going to do 5 counts of each exercise that we're doing. If your body only wants to do like 3 instead or whatever, you have that permission, that's fine. So the first one, right leg slide back, the toes are on the ground at first, and then 5 times lift the heel up and drop it back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest for a breath. Then bending the knee, pulse up and down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten the leg, rest for a moment. Lifting the leg back up level with the hip. This one, the hips will stay level, so we're not hiking anything. Level with hip. Swing like a pendulum over to right and left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest for a moment. And then last one, this one's like a kneeling half moon. You do hike the right hip up, and then you kick that foot to the side 5 times. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Let the foot set down to the ground for a moment. We're going to come up high. Slide the right hand down that right leg. Give the ribs a chance to get a stretch today. Back up. Slide the foot in just a little bit. We're going to take a side lunge so the weight goes over to the right. You can have hands on the floor, hands on the leg, whatever works. It can be up or down. Feel those inner thighs, especially getting that good stretch. Good. Going back to straight leg, lower down to elbows. Another breath in, out, back up to hands. Second side, so right knee's down, Left toe slide to back of mat. So it's the heel lifts. Ready? Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Bent knee, foot above. We'll step and down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the toes go back to floor and rest. Pendulum. Lift level with hips. From the left, right. 4. So it's the hips staying level. 3, 2, 1. Rest. A half moon. I kick the hip up to stack. 5 kicks to the side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the straight leg off at the side. Let's come up high for a moment. Side rib stretch. Slide left hand down, right hand over. Okay, rising up. Slide the foot in so the knee's a little bit bent. And then shift some weight over to that left side. Hands are wherever it helps the balance. Beautiful. Straighten the leg, go down to elbows. So rising up, I'd like us to do just a couple of things with goddess pose before we wrap up the straight side. So continue to slide that foot forward so we can rise up to stand. And then just turn to the side that faces us again to center of room. That's fine. Toes turn out. As you test it out, just make sure the knees don't go past the toes. We've got a decently wide stance. So toes are turned out so that when we are down, the knees just track in that same line as the feet. But this first one, torso's up. Let's open the arms. Let's do some arm circles. So take 5 to one direction, huge. 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now hold about shoulder height. This one will be pulses up and down with the legs. Let's go 10, 9, 8, 7. See if you can feel the Kegel at the top. 6, squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I've got one more little challenge. What we'll do here is, shoulders need a break for a moment while I'm explaining, that's fine. What we'll do is squat down through the center, and then you're shifting your weight onto one leg, trying to balance up like a star. So 5 points, and then land softly down, balance up second side. 5. This one might land narrower than before. 4, kind of feels like a sumo wrestler. 3, 2, and 1. Good work. Turn the toes forward. Maybe clasp the hands behind the back as you bow forward, unless you know you want a different arm position. Legs getting a stretch, shoulders stretching, arms and back releasing. Our transition toward going a little slower. Our final stretches. Feel that heart rate having worked up a little bit. Good. So as hands turn down, we're going to take it to downward facing dog. So walk the hands up to the top of mat. Step whatever the front foot is back. And then we're taking down dog with the right leg ultimately bending forward and through into pigeon pose. So back knee scoots back. Make sure the sacrum still level as we lower down to sleeping pigeon. Use a cycles of breath here. Now purposely drop your right hip onto the ground. Your left leg circles all the way through the side. See if you can swing it all the way to plant on the outside of the right thigh. Taking a twist. Right hand grabs the knee, left hand goes behind. Think of straightening the spine up first before you spiral around. I'm glad. You guys feel it today. Okay, when we unwind back forward, before we switch sides, let's plant both hands at the right side. The idea is trying to give some space for that left hip. So some of us might be bending both elbows a little bit. Some of us might even drop an elbow to the floor. You can lean any amount down. And as much as possible, you don't have to keep the hip on the ground, but try to keep some weight there. So it's like it's trying to pull away from this leaning that we're doing. Create some good space in that hip for the moment. Good. Let's come up. As we swing the legs underneath, you can transition to the second side pigeon through maybe kneeling or through down dog. You get to choose. You let the pause for a moment. Whatever that transition is, great. If you're ready to go straight to the pigeon, go right ahead. Remember, sacrum level when you get there before you drop down. If the breath is ready to slow down even more, maybe a super, super slow breath, 2 more rounds. Second one, we can rest the left hip to the floor. Right can swing all the way, journey around to the outside. Left hand grabs knee, right hand is behind. Remember to straighten up before you spiral around. More breath in, out, unwind. Put both hands to left. Do any amount of leaning over to left. Drop to elbow, relax. Breath, deep and relax. We ease our way up. Start to transition towards Shavasana. So if you want to do any stretches up here, that's fine. If you want to head to the ground doing any stretches, that's fine. If you're just ready for Shavasana, that's fine. Whatever feels good. There's an option I can give you here. You don't have to take it, but the option is to place hands on the low belly, hip area. And imagine with each inhale you take, there's energy transferring down to your hands. With your exhale, the energy is transferring from hands into the sacral chakra. So just that slow, deep breathing helps to energize that sacral chakra. Begin to deepen our inhales. Our exhales. Introduce movements back to the body, fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Stretching out in ways that feel really good. Perhaps the fetal position to one side if you wish. Try a few bonus breaths. Maybe 3 or 4 good cycles until you feel ready to rise. So here with hands together in front of our heart, you return back to that sacral chakra, not only having physically opened up the bones and the muscles that make up that area, also imagine we kind of massaged the things that create and control a lot of our hormones here. So hormones are more balanced, which means the mood is more balanced, as well as many other things. And imagine even on a deeper level, our passion has kind of been massaged and energized, so we can approach life in a really creative, awesome way. So with this to help lead us on, let's wrap up the time we shared together with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste.